Hello, dear friends. Gather around for a magical story today. Have you ever found something so special that it could change your whole life? What would you do if you had to choose between keeping a treasure and doing what's right? Today, we're going to meet a little rabbit named Ruby who made a choice that changed everything. This is the story of the honest rabbit and the golden carrot. Deep in the heart of Whispering Meadow, where wildflowers danced in the breeze and butterflies painted the sky with colors, lived a small rabbit named Ruby. Ruby had soft gray fur, the brightest brown eyes you've ever seen, and the tiniest white cottontail. She lived in a cozy burrow beneath an old oak tree with her mama and her little brother Pip. Ruby's family didn't have much. Their burrow was small, but filled with love. Every evening, Mama Rabbit would gather whatever vegetables she could find in the meadow, and they would share a simple dinner together by candlelight. Ruby never minded that they didn't have fancy things. She had her family, and that was enough. One sunny morning, Ruby hopped out early to gather food for breakfast. Pip was still sleeping, curled up in his tiny bed of soft moss. "I'll find something special today," Ruby whispered to herself. "Maybe some fresh clover or sweet berries." She hopped through the dewy grass, her little nose twitching as she sniffed the morning air. The meadow smelled of sunshine and fresh earth. Birds sang their cheerful songs in the trees above. But then, something caught Ruby's eye. Near the old stone bridge, half buried in the soft dirt, was something glowing. Ruby hopped closer, her heart beating faster with curiosity. She carefully dug around it with her small paws, and slowly, something extraordinary appeared. It was a carrot, but not just any carrot. This carrot was made of solid gold. It sparkled and shimmered in the sunlight like 1,000 tiny stars. Ruby gasped. "Golden carrot," she whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. She had never seen anything so beautiful in her entire life. The carrot was as long as her arm and gleamed so brightly it almost hurt to look at. Ruby's mind raced with possibilities. "If I take this home," she thought, "we could trade it for food for an entire year. Mama wouldn't have to work so hard. Pip could have new blankets. We could fix the holes in our burrow roof." Ruby carefully lifted the golden carrot. It was heavier than she expected. She looked around nervously. The meadow was quiet. No one was watching. No one would ever know. Just as Ruby was about to run home with her treasure, she heard a sound. It was crying. Soft, sad crying, coming from beneath the stone bridge. Ruby paused. Her kind heart wouldn't let her ignore someone in trouble. Gently, she set down the golden carrot and hopped toward the sound. Under the bridge, sitting on a flat rock with tears streaming down his fuzzy cheeks, was an old badger. His fur was gray with age, and he looked very, very sad. "Excuse me, sir," Ruby said gently. "Are you all right?" The old badger looked up, wiping his eyes with his paw. "Oh, little one, I'm afraid I'm not all right at all. I've lost something very precious. Something that belonged to my grandfather and his grandfather before him." "What did you lose?" Ruby asked, even though her heart was beginning to sink. She had a feeling she already knew. "A golden carrot," the badger said, his voice breaking. "It's been in my family for generations. My grandfather told me it was blessed by the forest spirits long ago. It's the only thing I have left to remember my family by. I was taking it to show the children at the meadow school when I dropped it somewhere near this bridge. I've been searching all morning, but my old eyes can't see very well anymore." Ruby felt her chest tighten. The golden carrot wasn't just treasure, it was someone's precious memory. It was all this kind old badger had left of his family. She thought about her own family. She thought about how much she loved the stories Mama told her about her grandmother. She thought about Pip's favorite acorn that he kept because their papa had given it to him before he passed away. Ruby knew what she had to do. "Sir," she said softly, "I think I found what you're looking for." The old badger's eyes lit up with hope. "You did? Oh, my dear child, really?" Ruby hopped back to where she had left the golden carrot. Her paws trembled slightly as she picked it up. Part of her heart ached, knowing she was giving away something that could help her family so much. But a bigger part of her heart knew that doing the right thing was more important than gold. She carried the golden carrot to the old badger. "Is this yours?" she asked. The badger's face transformed with pure joy. Tears filled his eyes again, but this time they were happy tears. "Yes! Yes! Oh, my precious treasure! You found it!" He held the golden carrot close to his heart, hugging it like it was the most valuable thing in the world. And to him, it was. "Thank you, little rabbit. Thank you so much," he said, his voice shaking with emotion. "You have no idea what this means to me. You could have kept it. Many would have. But you chose honesty and kindness instead." Ruby smiled, even though her eyes felt a little wet too. "It belongs to you and your family, sir. I'm just happy I could help you find it." The old badger looked at Ruby with wise, gentle eyes. "What is your name, little one?" "Ruby, sir." "Ruby, a name as precious as your heart." The badger smiled warmly. "You know, the forest spirits truly did bless this carrot, but not in the way most people think. Its real magic isn't the gold. Its real magic is finding hearts like yours." He reached into his old leather satchel and pulled out a small pouch. "Please, take this. It's not much, but I want you to have it." Ruby shook her head. "Oh, no, sir. I didn't help you for a reward." "I know," the badger said gently. "That's exactly why you should have it." Inside the pouch were seeds, but these weren't ordinary seeds. They sparkled with a soft, magical glow. "These are enchanted carrot seeds," the badger explained. "Plant them in good soil with a good heart, and they will grow the most delicious, nutritious carrots you've ever tasted. They'll grow year after year, feeding not just you, but everyone you share them with. That's the real treasure, Ruby. The treasure of never-ending kindness." Ruby's eyes grew wide with wonder and gratitude. "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much." "No, Ruby. Thank you. You've reminded this old badger that goodness still exists in the world. He patted her head gently. Go home to your family. Plant these seeds with love. And remember, honesty always plants seeds for a better tomorrow. Ruby hopped home as fast as her little legs could carry her, her heart bursting with happiness. When she reached her burrow, Mama and Pip were just waking up. Ruby, where have you been? Mama asked, a little worried. Ruby told them the whole story. She told them about finding the golden carrot, about the crying badger, and about choosing to return it. She showed them the magical seeds. Mama Rabbit pulled Ruby into the warmest, tightest hug. Oh, my sweet Ruby, I am so proud of you. You have a heart of gold, and that's worth more than any treasure. Little Pip hugged her too. You're the best sister ever!
Together, the family planted the magical seeds in a sunny spot near their burrow. They watered them with care and watched them with hope. And do you know what happened? Within days, the most beautiful carrot plants began to grow. They grew bigger and stronger than any plants in the meadow. Soon, they had more delicious carrots than they could ever eat. The carrots were so sweet, so crunchy, and so nutritious that Ruby's family became healthier and happier than ever before. But Ruby didn't keep all the carrots for herself. She remembered what the badger said about sharing. She gave carrots to the field mice, whose home had flooded. She gave carrots to the elderly tortoise, who couldn't find food easily. She gave carrots to anyone who needed them. And something magical happened. The more Ruby shared, the more the plants grew. It was as if kindness itself was feeding the garden. The old badger visited Ruby often. He became like a grandfather to her and Pip, telling them wonderful stories and teaching them about the forest. Ruby's one honest choice had brought not just food, but friendship, love, and joy into her life. One evening, as the sun painted the sky orange and pink, Ruby sat outside her burrow with her family. The garden was full and beautiful. Their home had been repaired, but most importantly, their hearts were full. Mama, Ruby said softly, I almost kept that golden carrot. I almost ran away with it. Mama Rabbit smiled and stroked Ruby's soft fur. But you didn't, my dear. When it mattered most, your good heart guided you. That's what makes you special. Not gold, not treasures, but your honest, kind heart. Ruby looked at the stars beginning to twinkle in the evening sky. She thought about that choice she made under the bridge. She realized now that she hadn't given anything up at all. She had gained so much more. And so, Ruby learned that honesty is the most valuable treasure of all. When we choose to do what's right, even when it's hard, we plant seeds of goodness that grow into blessings we never imagined. The golden carrot could have fed Ruby's family for a year, but her honest heart fed them for a lifetime. Remember, dear friends, the most beautiful treasures aren't things we find, but the choices we make. When you choose honesty, when you choose kindness, when you choose to do what's right, even when no one is watching, you become richer than any gold could ever make you. Ruby and her family lived happily ever after, surrounded by love, friendship, and more than enough to share. If you loved Ruby's story and the lesson of her honest heart, give us a big thumbs up. Share this magical tale with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories. Until next time, keep your hearts kind,
and your choices honest. Good night, little friends. Sweet dreams.